All right, first pull in the RS. Jesus. I'll be honest, I don't like the exhaust. It's a bit too loud. With 3-inch exhausts, it's just, you can't escape the droniness of it, especially if it's turbocharged. Turbocharged, I don't care what you say, all turbocharged cars sound like shit, unless you're talking V8, V10s, V12s, W16s, whatever. And you've got lots of little tiny small cylinders and they're pushing through multiple turbos, then you can get a pretty good sound. Even the Porsche 911 Turbo, they don't sound great compared to the naturally aspirated Porsche. You're never going to get that tunable sound out of a turbo exhaust system. They're all just going to sound, they're all just going to drone. It's all just all the cylinders mixed together through the turbine and just a So I've never been a fan of the noise that 3-inch exhausts make when you're just sort of cruising. But exhaust rant aside, fuck, this thing picks up in boogies. I haven't even put my foot flat down yet. I just sort of been feathering it because I'm driving around with no number plates on. Now, if you're not in Australia and you think, well, duh, everyone drives around with no number plates on, that's just cares, you know, just do it. Not in Australia, not unless you want to go into fucking whatever, what have we got? Christmas Island. That's like our Guantanamo Bay. You gotta have that, there's that meme where the guy's saying, straight to jail. No number plates?
Right to jail.
No number plates on a loud vehicle?
Right to jail, right away.
But I have got a permit to move the vehicle that is unregistered.
Believe it or not, jail.
And on that permit, you got to put where your start address is, exactly where you're going. Like, are you stopping to take a piss? Include it. So going straight from my house to the inspection station, which is about 30 minutes away from me, which gives me a good opportunity to open her up, get on the freeway, get a good feel for the car. And I can tell you what, so far, I wouldn't daily drive this. Its suspension is stiff as all hell. Obviously, it's got white line everything and all that sort of jazz. It's had the catalog thrown at it in that regards. And it feels amazing. I feel like I can just throw this thing around. There's no, like wherever I point, it just shoots it. It's crazy. It feels great, but it's stiff. It's bouncing around. And these seats are bucket seats. There's no cushioning on the arse. It's hugging me in. So great weekend car. This isn't going to replace my Courier though. I was kind of hoping it would replace my Courier. What's the timing of that? My little runaround car gets written off right as I go to register this thing. I might need to get something else to fill the hole of the Courier. Jesus! Oh, I'm already doing well out of the speed limit. But maybe I could daily it. Tell you what though, I need that Monster Energy sponsorship. I'll put in a picture somewhere of how many of these I've drunk during this build, and it's quite alarming. So if you haven't seen any of the previous videos where I've taken a car to go and get inspected, this is what you need. You need to obviously have repaired the car and fix whatever is wrong. I just passed a police car and he's not doing a U-turn, thank God. So you need to have, once you've fixed the car, you've got to make a booking at an authorised repair station. So you've got to look that up. It's not a roadworthy certificate, it's not a PITS inspection. They can't do them. There's specific places that do them. So you've got to look up and see where around you they can do a written off vehicle inspection. So once you've made your booking, I'm sure they're going to tell you what you need, but just so you're prepared, you need a stat dec. Statutory declaration. Basically something that's signed by a justice of the peace, something that's signed by someone important to certify what you're declaring, which is that you have done the work to repair the car. So if you did the painting, you changed all the parts, you do all that. If you did all the parts and someone else painted those parts, you got to put in there who painted it. How much did it cost you? Put all the information in the statutory declaration, get it signed, and then you've got to have a photo collage. Print out the photos in order of your repair. When you got it, when you were taking it apart, photos of the repair happening so they can see the car being apart and being repaired and all the new parts that you've used. Which leads to the next bit, you need to have all the receipts. So all the receipts of all the parts that you've used, you've bought, include all those receipts. If you've bought them off Marketplace, just a screenshot of that conversation where you've made the deal, of that part of the convo where you've made the deal saying, yep, $100 for this or whatever. If you have taken parts off another vehicle, you need to include the VIN number as well. So that's a big one, don't forget that. if you get some parts from the wreckers or if you buy something off Marketplace, you need the VIN number of the vehicle you've taken the parts off of. Obviously, that's their way of preventing stolen cars from being used for parts. So make sure you do that. Once you got all those, receipts for the car parts, statutory declaration saying you did the repairs, and a detailed catalogue of pictures of you doing the repairs, put it all in a little folder like I've got here. This little folder titled Focus RS. Go to your inspection booking, throw the folder at them, show them your ID, you got to show them your driver's license, and then they'll inspect it. And they go through, take pictures, do a full inspection report. I think here it costs like $140, I can't remember. And once you've had that done, they'll take your car off the written off vehicle register. And then you can go get your roadworthy certificate or PIDS inspection or whatever you call it. And it's just like registering a normal unregistered car. And that's where buying cool cars from the salvage auctions comes to bite you in the ass. Because if you buy a cool car, it's got modifications done to it, like my Chrysler. I bought a Chrysler 300 SRT. It was cool. It had coilover suspension. It was low to the ground. It had big rims on it and shit like that. Straight through exhaust. You've got to fix all that stuff before you take it to get a roadworthy inspection. So you might think you got a cool car at these salvage auctions, but you got to turn it back to bloody stock before you can even get it registered on the road. So in the case of this car, this has lowered white line suspension. So I have to make sure that it clears 100 millimeters off the ground at all points of the vehicle. And I'm pretty sure it does. I hope it does, because I really don't want to go and get standard springs, chuck them in just for a day. Or if you've got big wheels or different aftermarket rims, you're gonna have to take them off, put some stock tires on, stock wheels on, as long as they meet the load rating and the rolling diameter. Some places are pretty strict about it, others aren't. You're probably better off just going standard wheels and tires. Because as the more factory it looks, the less they're gonna look. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like currently, I've got rims and tires for this car that are really, really cool, and I really want to put them on, but I can't put them on yet because it still needs to go over the pits. And despite them being for this car, the same rolling diameter, and they would pass, they're kind of interesting looking wheels. So they would warrant perhaps looking a little bit further into the car. Oh, it's been modified a bit more. Okay. So just keep it low key, get it registered, and then do whatever you want. So with that being said, I'll see you guys when I get to the inspection station and then find out I've left something at home. No, it should be all right. So I'll get the car inspected, get it passed, and get it registered. We've passed the inspection. I've gone and booked the PITS inspection or the roadworthy certificate. It is Wednesday. I've just tried to book PITS inspection. The soonest I can get in is Monday. So we'll have to wait until Monday. And even then, I go to work on Tuesday, so I'm going to enjoy it for half a bloody day registered. Oh, I've been driving this around in bloody normal mode. I forgot this had drive mode. Normal, sport, racetrack. Oh, fucking let's go. Racetrack mode. Jesus! Fucking hell! Far out! I've been driving this on normal mode. I totally forgot about... Jeez! Fuck that pulls. Now I don't have any number plates. Really shouldn't be doing that. There's a little thing there for the suspension. So the suspension's fucking turned into, might as well be welded beams. All right, going back into normal mode. I do not want to be thrown in jail today. But now that we have to get the car ready for roadworthy inspection, means I have to get the car roadworthy, which sucks. That means getting rid of this exhaust though, so I've sourced a factory exhaust, so I'll be putting that on, probably keeping it on, to be honest. Although I am just borrowing it off a friend, I might have to offer them some money if it ends up being a lot more drivable. But in saying that, it won't do the pop, pop, bang. And really, that's what people want when they're looking for these cars. And the end goal of this car is to sell it. All right, so before the roadworthy on Monday, do a couple of little things. One obviously being the exhaust, but I don't have the exhaust just yet. So something I can do now is the headlight washers. Now, I personally believe it looks way better without them, but they're there and it's all plumbed up. So essentially if I press the washer nozzle button, they're gonna try and shoot out, and I just don't want it leaking. I'll just hook them up. I'll just do them, connect them, and that way it's as OEM as it can be. And I just don't want to get to the inspection on the day and they fault me for, oh, this vehicle came out with headlight washers, they're not installed. So we'll just put them on. Another thing as well, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to source original headlights because I'm getting a fault code on the dash which is saying headlight malfunction, and I don't think it's gonna pass the pits with an error light like that. So if I can source them for the weekend, good, but if not, I'm just gonna run the gauntlet and hopefully they don't fail me for that. But let's get this front bumper off, cut out the holes, put little washer nozzles on. And there we go, bumper off, just like that, so easy. So thankfully, Ford give you little lines to go off where to cut. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera, but you've basically just got to cut that shape out with those lines. So taped off both of those. Originally, I was just going to get a stencil or a template off the old front bumper and then transfer it onto there, but I'll just cut from the back. Surely it won't damage the paint or crack the paint so much that it'll ruin the whole front bumper. While we're here, taking off the garnish, that's going in the bin. Carbon fibre one is meant to be arriving today, so that's pretty handy. As well as the new fog light. So yeah, can't keep this one on because obviously moisture's going to get in there and absolutely fry that. And speak of the devil, pretty sure there's water in there right now. So yeah, new one of them, new front garnish. Get the holes for these little doobers, and I have 2 brand spanking painted caps ready to go.
And as you can see here, as soon as I peeled the tape off, it just peeled the clear coat away with it. It obviously didn't bond to the paint very well underneath it, so that's an issue that'll get rectified later on. But in good news, look at this beautiful piece of carbon fibre that arrived for that little front midsection on the front bar. It looks absolutely stunning in the sun.
All right, and it's on, it's done. There's the, I'm not happy about it. That's really set me off. Oh, it just keeps peeling. I really wish I didn't do that, but done now. The carbon fibre bit looks great. However, now it just makes me want those to be carbon fibre too, and that's like $660 for those 2 things, and I'm not doing that. I do have the bonnet booked in to be painted, so at the same time, we'll get that whole front bar situation sorted out, and it's gonna look schmicky-doo. But that's like another 4 weeks away. What I need to do is the exhaust system next. So I'm gonna pick that up. It is now Friday night. I'll pick that up on the weekend, get that exhaust on, and then we're ready for Rego. All right, so I have gone and picked up an exhaust for this thing. Well, I've picked up the back box. I've just got the back box because the exhaust is pretty much the same all the way through. The only real difference is the back box. And I'll show you what I mean once I rip off this Cobb 3-inch system and compare it to the factory one. All right, so there is the Cobb system versus the factory system. As you can see, a little bit of a size difference. And the biggest difference here is on the Cobb system, your exhaust is coming in and it's basically coming straight out this pipe. Only when this is shut will it divert through there, and that's basically just a straight through. That's probably just got some packing either side of the pipe. That's probably just a pipe that goes straight through, bit of perforation, bit of packing around it and goes out there. So even that muffler's not doing anything. Whereas on this one, it's coming into this muffler first, and there's some wizardry. Probably the pipe goes to the end and then these 2 pipes are open or something like that. But either way, when this is open, it's still going through the muffler. So just by putting this back box on, that should quieten it down enough and just make it look factory enough that it should easily pass.
So I slapped that on. It wasn't that exciting, so I didn't feel the need to film it. But the exhaust is on, and now we're on to changing the front springs from the aftermarket white line lowered springs to the factory plate springs. Now, it wasn't too low with these white line springs in, but I just wanted to be sure. I didn't want them to ping it. There were a couple of points where it was lower than 100 mil. So I thought, easy enough job. swap out these springs. Now these shocks are the adaptive dampening things that have this wire that you see here that goes through the middle. So you gotta take some care in taking all these things apart. Make sure they go on the exact same way and that the wire is free from getting damaged. But as easy as that, take the old springs off, slap the new ones on, and then get about putting it back in. The hardest part was just getting the low end of the shock back into its point. But within 2 hours, done both sides, and now it's back to normal.
Bit of a stitch up, that whole situation. So finished doing the springs, got all the springs in, and I was rushing because we were going out straight after those springs were done to go to Power Play. You know, the indoor go-karting place? And then I got home and thought I'd test out the headlights. The cheap Chinese headlights that I bought for $500 because genuine Focus RS headlights are really bloody expensive. I'm talking over $1,000 for one. I only actually needed one because one headlight was good, the other one, both the mounting tabs were broken and it was a bit broken on the inside. So I thought, we're going for inspection, let's just test all the lights. The Chinese headlights couldn't do high beams. High beams didn't work. Obviously because the HIDs from the factory headlights, it uses, instead of using a separate high beam circuit, you tell it to go high beam and it just uses motors to adjust the headlight and point it slightly higher up. So these headlights obviously only support a high beam on the Focus models that don't have HID headlights or the standard headlights. So what that meant was this morning at 5 AM, I was getting these factory headlights and rushing, cutting the tabs off these headlights to then plastic weld the tabs onto those headlights. And I did that. And I didn't film it because I was in a massive rush to try and get it done because my inspection was first thing in the morning. Anyways, we drove to the inspection, and as you can see by the lack of number plate on the front of the car, we obviously failed. And we failed for something that you probably thought, well, you should have checked that. It failed for not having a catalytic converter on the downpipe. And I kind of knew that. I never actually checked to see if the downpipe had a cat on it, but I kind of knew it because you could hear the turbine wheel through the exhaust. And if you're wondering what the turbine wheel sounds like, it's that high pitch whistle. It's the turbo whistle. When you can hear that through your exhaust, you pretty much just straight through all the way to the turbo. So yeah, she failed. And not only that, I've just got to also provide a modification permit for the intercooler. That's easy enough. Get a mod permit, costs $70. You print it out, go and get it inspected. Now, I leave for work tomorrow, so I'll be away for a week. I've looked around, can't get a downpipe locally, so I've just ordered one, a factory one, from the wreckers over east. They're gonna send that over, and it'll be here when I get back from work next week, when I can put the downpipe on and get it inspected again. It's just a little bit frustrating. It's ready to go. And God, look how high it is up the front with those standard springs. But let me know what you think. I like these headlights way better than I do the aftermarket ones. I think the factory headlights just look so much better. And that carbon fiber insert piece just looks pretty smick. So that's where we are at. Obviously I wanted to end this episode with the Focus being registered and have really cool shots of the Focus driving around. But when we have these issues where I need to get parts, living in the world's most isolated city doesn't really help it. When you're getting parts from over east, it just takes so long to get. Oh, you noticed that change? It was obvious. I actually flew to work and was editing the video after I finished work in my little room, and I realized that the microphone died just after that point. So I've flown back from work, I'm back here now, and the new dump pipe that I've got to put on has already rocked up. So I'm still going to end the episode there. This means the next episode will be out a couple of days after this one comes out. So I'm going to get to changing this dump pipe over. The inspection is booked for tomorrow morning, the re-inspection, where I need the new dump pipe. And so yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe even if you feel so inclined, and I will see you guys in a couple of days when the next video goes up, when this is registered and good to go. I also got a new car.